Hello and welcome to my Sunday from. So today I have a read for you guys, and this one is not an easy one for me to just get through. So I have actually been putting this off, and now we come to the part where we need all to be on the same page right now, and I really need you guys to open your ears and let your mind decide for yourself and be aware, be woke. That's my one job here. So, first, I want to get some weather in. Windy across the U.S., lots of precipitation in the forecast. I see locally here 60s, so it's pretty good weather. It's fair weather today and tomorrow. But like I said, a lot of people will be seeing precipitation in the form of snow or what have you. Now into the future, like us, we have some rain forecasted because there's like a storm coming towards like the eastern portion of the United States and blowing out. And also in the Gulf, there's some rain there, actually southwest, all the way to Nevada, from Texas to Nevada. And obviously there's like lots of rain, and on the west coast there's wind conditions. But in the UK, there's Storm Goretti that slammed the UK with severe weather. And tomorrow it's even going to hit London with this massive storm, which the city already is seeing heavy showers as of late, last time I checked. So New York City, MTV shut down, but not just in New York City. It shut down its channels. It shut down the station. But it says people say it has zero impact. They've always doubted MTV as a business and said that it has no, relevancy. Though cult followers of Carson Daly might argue, and also in my opinion, the platform showcases true music pop culture in real time, the highlight of the platform business wise. So if you want to argue that, I actually doubt that anything you have to say could possibly change the importance of this one thing, that they are truly a unique channel, and their station broadcasted live the real impact of music and pop culture. And it was actually, a live thing. Minneapolis, Governor Walz ends re-election with a speech very much giving crying and whiny baby vibes. And I wanted to touch on this city in particular because an incident occurred there involving officers and a one of those anti-Trump, anti-government I would call them mobs, but I want to be politically correct, and I guess I will call them insurrection. And that will kind of cover any word. What do you call them? Synonyms, antonyms. So I wrote here, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, and Chief of Police Brian O'Hara denounced, threatened DHS, and etc. They actually said, you're gonna have to go through me. Basically, I will bulldoze over you because I have powers, and he's recruiting people using his pressers, obviously, of recent time. And that's all I've been seeing Mr. Jacob Frey doing. And as you know, Brian O'Hara and me go way back. And I didn't tell you guys, but I do want you to know that he's not a particularly great person and targets me randomly. A mob caused many clout seekers to stir yesterday when one member of these modern world cop killing ICE hunters, they travel around the United States hunting ICE, and some have even taken to international borders, which actually would be like certain points where you would see people under DHS would be airports. That's why I am heightening their level to insurrection, because this is not just a problem here. They are using our president, second term Donald J. Trump, to scapegoat their violent acts. You could call it 187, but I would just basically call it, um, you know, what it is. And I will get to that in a minute. But for now, we're just gonna call it insurrection, because at this point you would have to tie the Kamala and these protests together, because they were already protesting when Biden was president. So we'd have to tie them together somehow. And right now it's not clear, but their actions do speak more for their character. And each person, though they may hide behind the ballot, we have a democracy here, and they are not what I would call typical citizens. They're not law-abiding civilians at all. And that's what basically I want you to go in knowing these things. No, a mob caused many clout seekers to stir yesterday when one member of these modern world cop killing ICE hunters found a group on the side of the road of agents to target. Not missing a minute more of her time, she rammed her vehicle into the group. One officer was quick to miraculously make his way nanoseconds from the bumper of the vehicle. Now, many are saying that he was in fact injured, but there is no word on his condition at this point. I have nothing to give you as of that. As of now, no word on officer's condition. But if I do get an update, I will let you know. The officer was quick to miraculously make his way nanoseconds from the bumper of the vehicle, leaping into action, jumping into safety, a leap that saved his life. Still going, the vehicle was then out of control. It smashed into a parked car right next to where the group was initially standing. Though, because of quick response, we're able to neutralize the terrorist group. So the agents were able to neutralize the terrorists, or not the group, but the terrorist that was driving the vehicle, which she immediately succumbed to the gunfire and died at the scene, again, of her own crime. So she was actually victimized these agents for doing their job, enforcing the law. And she saw a uniform and targeted them. And based on protocol, the agents quickly took action to stop, the act of crime. and started shooting towards the vehicle. And um, immediately she died. And the car was, she was speeding so hard, like she was literally foot to metal, like in pedal to the metal. And it literally, when she let, like, her body, like, let go and put, you know, relax the steering wheel and all that, the car hit another car, and it was aiming towards the group still, where they were standing. So I think the target was the whole entire group. It wasn't just out of anger, you know, that she hopped off in a vehicle and sped away because of anger. I think you guys need to realize to obey the law of the land, when, yes, but also that we love our uniformed officers. They are here to serve us, the constituents. And just because you see them in uniform doesn't mean that some of them don't get voted in. Clearly, you ask for them by name. Clearly, you want what's best for your community. And the sense of security starts by our first response. That's why we call it first responder, because they are the first responders to a situation to which we alone cannot overcome. And that is why I want you to take these seriously. These ICE hunters. And, you know, the whole thing with Kamala and that, like, that's, you know, that's to come. That's a matter of her court hearing. I think for now, we need to be real about the situation, and we all need to be on the same page. We have seen this time and time again. And allegedly he had two. This was the third time. And to be honest, he could be pulled from the department because this is the third time. Today, he could be pulled from the department and get benched. He could have a desk job. He can't live the way he wants because his job is in uniform. And they're currently being hunted by this mob. Do you understand what that's like? To be literally snatched from the field. It's like somebody snatches you off your chair and places you to the mailroom or something, you know? And you applied for a different job that you felt was like more something that you were more fit for and you shined at. And it's like, why should we doubt our people when clearly they have what it takes? They do their job. Did you see how fast he ran? Did you see how quick they responded? And now to think that he might not, you know, they might doubt him now. And that's without going to say that these ICE hunters recruit and they're having people actually, I mean, smear his name all over. And it's the same mob, like I said. And to tell you the truth, this got out of control because of the whole, what you would call, CUPE. The public school was canceled, and other government and city activities today were canceled. In Minneapolis alone, mayor reaction by inciting show of force. He called for everybody to show up and show out. Brian O'Hara, the chief of police, seconding this, also stating, not in so many words, fuck ICE sentiment, which the mayor actually said on live broadcast, fuck ICE. He said, fuck ICE, and I will bulldoze over all those people, who have anything to say that are of authority level. And Brian O'Hara, his little parrot, also said in his own words, fuck ICE. And then he tried to smooth it over his anti-speech with, but do it peacefully, as if they held an audience captivated by agenda-based antics, who would then be floored by ingenuity. I then went live after cooling off, asking for their resignation, demanding Kamala's capers be held accountable. And the devil reared its ugly head by the time I was done. Yet again, reinforcing Biden-era terrorism and tyranny in our great nation, reminding us how Kamala left her skid marks on the heads of the body of people who are clearly patriots trying to make sense and collect themselves from the rubble. Still in aftermath of what those type of dimwits continue to plague us with, using their titles, authority to persecute us with for merely being pro-democracy. I saw a TikToker / cop killer screaming at the protest demonstration to behave in a manner similar to the dead pig terrorist Renee Good, and also shouted down security and our uniformed officers, the detail at these events, which a lot of people took offense to, an already heated crowd. There were more on TikTok that held the same disposition. And I want to tell everybody watching, if you see something, say something. Because you see what level. That's what I want you to take away. What level of violation did Renee Good take part in? What Renee Good did was actually a terrorist act, an evil act of crime. The heinous attempted murder of an ICE agent. They literally travel the nation and the globe to perpetrate violence. The second-term era of Trump administration is not for the weak and feeble-minded. It's for us who truly hold the pride in our hearts for this great nation to grow and flourish. And I don't mean, guys, I know y'all know that I'm a farmer, but I don't mean our crops. Like, be for real. Stop being so childish. Use the brain that God gave you and listen with an open mind. I don't mean grow and flourish your plants in the garden. I mean, as a person, as a human being, to have those freedoms and room to move around is what he has sowed the seeds for. Trump loves when we use our voices. So I'd ask, let's not be silent, and that's what I'm taking from these demonstrations and protests and, and all that stuff about the ICE stuff, I take to the heart. So there's no, you couldn't tell me different. It's utterly disgusting. But protest and demonstration, let's not be silent. That's my take on what's going on. And I hope, you could validate that. But for me, but at the same time, that's just my point of view from where I'm sitting. But be seen and be loud. Be seen and be loud. So these are, to me, these are not big deals. These are not big deals. I think these are cries for help. That's it. That's my professional opinion. Why not be strengthened by learning how to harness this energy into producing results? The type of productivity that leads to more pride. This is how to distinguish true patriot from fence sitter. So I have some Maduro updates. Is that what you want to call it? Maduro updates. I'm sorry, I don't know what date it is, so I'm not going to write the date. Delcy Rodriguez, vice president of Venezuela, was twerking on the fence at the presidential palace herself when she took to press her disgust of what transpired the night Venezuelan President Maduro and his wife Celia were arrested. She spoke about how she was going to be the captain of the ships steering away from the conquistadors, claiming all President Trump wants is oil, using all her 2P brain racial cliches, denouncing USA as a colonial state and which sought out Venezuela for slaves, petroleum, and riches. Of fucking course, then she was sworn in wearing one of Celia's beautiful plainclothes traditional gowns of turquoise piece with boat neck and bell sleeves. And the night fell. And as the night fell, the insurgents surrounded the palace. Trump, abashed to try to force them out in the palatial area that morning, ordered our troops to not incorporate that zone during conflict. The Venezuelan militia battled it out. And by morning, the bandits who had traveled across the country had not made any gains. So this is where I talk about these bandits. It is clear Machado still holds stake of the country where her followers are inhabiting and has exercised use of show of force. Though exiled, she claims to have the powers vested in her that are large in numbers and wants to have the presidency switched over to her without a vote. This confidence of promised future tyrant of Venezuela has thus grown watching Arcelia Maduro being in court and or processed. So big shit and influential, yet typical Karen, can't help herself be cookie cutter of what these lizards are made of. To quote Mean Girls, she doesn't even go here. Much like many alligators, she now has interfered with Operation Southern Spear. Officially because bitch, what the fuck? That's what I wrote. Bitch, what the fuck? Nobody wants you and only ask you for interview for clout due to the Nobel Peace Prize. So, more on Machado. The news stations didn't even know whom is Machado, nor, and that's a quote, nor Delcy. And after seeing Celia, they're even less interested. ... Maduro's son was at the event to where Delcy was sworn in. And oh, by the way, can I have a comma? Thank you. So was Jorge Antonio Rodriguez, former Venezuelan VP. He and Delcy are brothers, the children of a terrorist who committed the most heinous crime in Venezuela, the kidnapping of an Ohio man and American CEO. Kept him for almost 4 years. Then during interrogation, he, Jorge Rodriguez, I'm going to write senior, died of torture due to cardiac arrest. That's right. He kept the CEO for 4 years. Then they caught him in his own home. In his own home. Why is that important, guys? Why is that important? Because Delcy and Jorge Antonio were in that house. But when they captured him, they took him in for interrogation and he died. Alleged heart failure, heart attack. They were young children at the time, but soon came to power. And you have guessed, now that his conjoined twin came up, Delcy. Jorge Antonio, conjoined twin Delcy, came up too. He also assumed an even higher position, swearing in as well right after Miss Universe Lleno de Cacamerda. Delcy was sworn in. Drain the swamp. And speaking of the detained couple, they remain in the same jail. Diddy, Chapo, Mangiano have all been held in at one point. They are in poor health. Sought medical attention / treatment and await more court hearings. Maduro was verbally attacked by a man who were sued watching Maduro's trial recreationally. He had to be stopped by the police because he caused distress on inmate and pressured him into an altercation that otherwise would not have taken place in court. One thing for sure that is now clear to me, the coup started by Machado is the insurgency that for years it had no face, and with what little information concerning the occupation, there had little to be done. Putting her butt face to name helped stop recruitment, ensure sense of security, and reclaim peace. Still, send prayers their way. Venezuela, we are with you. And I want you guys to continue keeping them in your thoughts and prayers, because Venezuela deserves best. And I really hope that, I know we will get through this, but we can't get through this without each other. We have to do this together. And we have come a long way in our own nation. And I urge you to continue being diligent as a civilian and also be worldly as well. So thank you guys all for watching. If you do like it, give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one, my Sunday Front. Bye-bye.